Alright, so in today's video, you're going to see me sit down with the game director, Joshua Mills, where I'm going to ask him a ton of questions that I have, questions that you guys have asked me. And I was actually able to do this when I got invited out to the Ubisoft Montreal studio. I had an amazing time, so once again, shout out to Joshua Mills, shout out to the whole Ubisoft team, thank you for having me, but I got some good questions for you. So enjoy.
So on PC, we have the ability to report a cheater, but on console, we don't really have the ability to report somebody who we think or we know is using like a mouse and keyboard or a Cronus. Would you guys ever be interested in adding a report button on console for those things?
We're 100% interested. In fact, we're looking at expanding our report system for exactly this, to give our players like more of a detailed explanation of what they experience. It allows us to hone in on the problem faster and be able to take care of it faster. Again, if we're asking everyone to take the time to be part of the solution, we're going to give you the tools to be part of the solution.
Will we ever see the anti-recoil mods fall into the mousetrap category?
So when it comes to improving cheat detection in general, or anything that we deem cheating in the game, our work's never done. And we're always working on that. And we do have a high focus on the console scene to try to make sure that we are achieving our exact level goals there, where we don't want people using these tools to get advantages. So it's definitely in our purview to continue to work there.
Okay. So how does the hidden MMR work? If I look at my lobby and I'm versing 5 champs, but there's, let's say, like a gold, a copper, a diamond, a plat, and like how would that be fair, as well as how would you increase your hidden MMR?
Okay, there's a couple things that run all at once there.
Yeah.
So there's the one scenario where everybody in the lobby is actually near the same hidden MMR.
Yeah.
But some people are further into the season than the other person. Let's say you just started and you're copper, but someone's already at plat.
Yeah.
But your hidden MMR is the same. It's just because they've been playing for longer in the season, so they've made their climb faster than you.
Yeah.
That's one scenario. The other is that, yeah, maybe you have a player who is a higher MMR that is playing with lower MMR players. The new Phantom player is raising that lobby. So this is the thing. If you're a high-level player like a champ and you play with friends who are just getting into the game, they are going to get much harder lobbies because it's not the champ being brought down, it's them being brought up.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you see a champ there, but you can assume that there are other people in that lobby that are actually a lot less skilled than you, and you're being put on the board to be the challenge for them as well, and to kind of equalize everything out there.
And if I wanted to increase my hidden MMR, how would I go about making that higher?
Well, the reality is you just have to win more. I know that's a horrible answer, but if you played Siege for a while, you'll learn that different ranks have different versions of the game that they're playing, and learning where you are in the ecosystem is really important. So if you're in gold lobbies and you want to push higher than that, you need to understand what it takes to get through the gold lobbies and then into the next tier, because the play style changes. So once you do that and you start mastering that and keeping those wins coming in, your hidden MMR will actually start adjusting and recognize that maybe it thought you should have lost that last match, and when you won it, it goes, wait a minute, okay, serve up a harder match because I'm not sure if this person is supposed to be gold or not. And then if you win that one, then it's like, nope, they're not. Push them up. And then that's how you start making that climb. It is a hard climb though.
Yeah.
You do have to put in the work.
And it takes so it's basically being affected every game rather than every season, right? It's not like.
That's right.
Okay, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, every game is the win or the loss is what's affecting your hidden MMR. The season is really just your visual rank. So the climb of what you've achieved that season.
Okay.
And as we know, if you get closer to your actual hidden MMR, your rank points will start, the payout will be less.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially coming down to the point of convergence. That's what Chris likes to say.
Because like obviously if I was champ last season and I start off in copper, I'm gonna gain that 120 and only lose 8 because I'm not supposed to be in copper actually. I'm supposed to be champ every season like how I am, or I'm near that elo.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna only gain 20 in copper. It wouldn't make sense.
Exactly. Your visual rank's not representing your actual hidden MMR.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Will we ever see native MnK come to console anytime soon, or just in general?
This is a feature we've definitely talked about. One of the key things of getting Mousetrap online is to make sure that the right input is playing against the right input.
Yeah.
So we got mouse and keyboard playing against mouse and keyboard if you get Mousetrap because you're trying to spoof, or again, you can use that device and just select, I want to play in mouse and keyboard lobbies because you're playing on console. All right, that's fine. Native support is definitely something we've talked about, and that's something that we're very interested in.
Okay. Will we ever see like night maps back, like coastline night map, cafe night map? The vibes are great. I mean, like you can't see like outside sometimes, but like it was still really good. I'm telling you, like it was.
So, I mean, I'm a sucker for this in general, like just because like it is the fantasy of the game, right? Like this dark tones. I mean, we all know that original trailer. Like I'm never gonna not forget that. But I think what I can say on this is that we overhauled our entire lighting system for the launch of SiegeX. We have a lot of work we're continuing to do in this and continue investment in this, which opens up a lot of possibilities in the future.
Okay. So would there ever be a chance that the 1.5 or any type of new magnification scopes ever come to the game? Or do you think it's really only going to be a 1 times and a 2.5 times?
Okay, so for the 1.5, it's a bit of a sealed moment in the history of Siege. We know all the problems that came with this thing and what it was causing as far as like the balancing nightmare of, we give it, everything moves there and everything like this. There's key things. One, yes, if you had a 1.5, players would flock on that operator for obvious reasons. But the other part is it hid key balancing issues, because if that operator had a 1.5, their performance would look great. And if you took it away, then you would actually see the problems with the operator, and then we can actually address the root problem. So there's that. And we know what it did to the ecosystem of the game. So I would say the 1.5 isn't returning anytime soon. As far as looking into other magnified scopes or anything like this, there's been experimenting with prototypes and telescopics and stuff.
Like maybe new 1-time scopes, or like, a new type of 2.5 scopes?
Potentially.
Okay.
There's actually a lot of rules on how scopes are built. Like when we did the big update, you could see like some of the reticles are a little thicker now and change. It's because there's a balancing matrix around literally the site itself, like how much the casing takes up the screen versus the clarity versus the reticle.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we already spoke on this, but why would aspect ratios not be coming to console?
Right. So really what it comes down to is with the launch of SiegeX, we don't officially support like 4x3 on PC even. Some of the menus won't work and won't be updated to support this. It creates a tax on the team. It makes us have to do our UIs like multiple times. This slows down process within the development of a season and everything like this. On console, we haven't introduced that problem at this point with the fact that we have this double maintenance. So introducing it now would definitely not be the case from like just a building and production standpoint. On top of that, like settings and different stuff with consoles alone, there's certain restrictions there.
Yeah, more on like not just Siege, but like the actual restrictions of the console itself, probably.
Some stuff like this, but mostly when we look at Siege, we look at it from the point of view of like our production capabilities and where we're putting our time and effort. So making sure that we're focusing on, a lot of stuff that is quality and that we can continue to maintain long term.
Okay, that makes sense. So would there ever be plans to trade on the market, or would it only stay with like the random person who put in that X amount gets that? Like even if it was like trading with friends or, stuff like that, would that ever come to the marketplace?
So as of right now, we don't have any plans for trading, but the marketplace is evolving. It's something we're constantly looking at and bringing new features to. So I'd stay tuned on updates to the marketplace itself, but yeah.
So would you guys ever add a new mode to ranked, or bring back like secure area into like the ranked pool again?
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That would be cool. It'd be great.
I think the key thing here is, again, we talked about night maps and stuff, and like it is the core fantasy of the game. It's that gritty feeling. Hostage is something that is very, very, counter-terrorist unit. This is what they do. So being able to make sure that content still has light and people get to experience it, I think it would be a really great thing.
Okay. What makes you guys decide if you have to nerf or buff an operator? Would it just be those like win delta charts that we see in there in like the patch notes and stuff, or what do you guys look at when looking to buff an operator or nerf an operator?
So there's a lot of stuff. So the win-loss deltas are just one place we can start. We can take a look at that to see if something is completely out of whack, for example. But sometimes it's not necessarily the key marker. A good example is Ashe. We all know where she sits on these charts.
Great. My favorite
but
operator.
The thing is, we've actively just kind of let her be because people have a lot of fun with her, and she's not really doing anything that's completely breaking everything.
No.
And that's okay. Let people have fun. That's fine. But the key aspect here is we try to focus on the game of teamwork. We want all our operators to work together. There's a saying we have where you have to be strong alone, but unstoppable together. And the question is, how does that work when you have attackers and defenders? So it'd be, the rock and the hard place. You have two unstoppable teams against each other, but that's where the magic of Siege is, right? It's who makes the mistake.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's really where we want our operators to land. And if they're not feeding into that, then that's where we start to look at the problem, whether that means bringing them up or moving them down a little bit, but really to focus in on that teamwork and that squad.
Okay. What goes into an operator getting reworked? Like we've seen Settinqs get reworked, we've seen Blackbeard get reworked. What do you guys do when you're deciding to rework an operator? Like how would you go about choosing that?
One of the key things here is when we look at any operator, even the new operators, they have these things called balancing levers. So multiple points of data that we can actually adjust to change their power level, whether it be a nerf or a buff. Sometimes we've exhausted all of those. So we've done all the tinkering. Blackbeard's a good example with the Tar shield.
Yeah.
Came out, obviously that thing was a beast,
Yeah.
and then nerfing it down to the point that it was no longer really viable in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But that was the lever. Like it was up or down. Like that was it.
That makes sense.
So we have to add more things to the board in order to be able to bring all the factors into line, which is one of the key factors with these remasters, is when we do them, we're looking at the possibilities of making sure there's enough avenues for us to continue to tune after the fact.
Okay. Now, as an OG player who's been playing since the day it came out, Old House in specific, was like the map. Oregon became the map, but Old House was the map where you did 1v1s, where you did custom games. And not to say that the new house is not good. The new house is great, but would you guys ever consider putting Old House into even just custom game? Because I'm telling you, like people would go crazy over Old House. Like that was like, I feel like that map, specifically how it was with the garage and how it was with the top floor, holds like a special place in people's hearts who played it from the first start, as well as all these new players never got to experience it. So I feel like a lot of people would like it.
So I think the key thing is what you said then there is there's a lot of players who've never experienced Old House. And I think that's a shame. Like, I mean, for players to be able to experience the history of the game, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, what that means for investment as far as like a production, that it's significant.
Yeah.
Technology has changed dramatically since those original maps were built. In fact, a lot of our core tech in the background doesn't support those maps. Like you can't actually open them in the same way anymore. So to be able to resurrect them or do that, it would be a significant amount of work. But I think that objective of trying to preserve the great stuff that came before and be able to showcase it and have ways for players to be able to relive it, I think that'd be an awesome thing to happen.
Yeah, even like a game mode, you know, it's like a game mode. It's like, oh, like the Halloween event they had. How it was on the Old House. Remember that? Like something like that even. You know, I think that'd be cool. Well, first up, I want to say thank you to Josh for doing this Q&A. There's always so many questions that everybody has, so I appreciate you answering all these questions.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for coming by.
Anytime. As well as thank you to everyone who's watched and I know you guys always want to know about Rank 2.0, so I got that question answered, don't worry.
Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Once again, thank you so much to Ubisoft Montreal for inviting me out to this and allowing me to do this. This whole experience has been quite literally insane, and thank you to you guys for allowing me to get to the position to even get invited out. Wouldn't be here without you guys, but thank you so much. Hopefully you guys got some of your questions answered, and I know I got a lot of mine answered, but I love y'all. See you next time. Mwah.